Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys. So, Three Houses Summer did in fact happen. Data miners were right all along.
Yep.
I thought IS only
figures.
dropped in fake news in the data mines.
Yeah, I still don't get that guy. Why he said because it wasn't a primary source, it's not going to be accurate. No, it was actually. It's really, by the way, it's really rare for data miners to figure out that much, but they made the right call because they couldn't figure out where Marianne was going to be in one of the banners. The only one that made sense was Tempest Trials, and if it was going to be Tempest Trials, meant Summer Heroes.
By
the way, that banner is the reset.
I thought the duo would be Claude and Marianne because I didn't watch another Hilda alt, but oh well.
Yeah,
I had no
expect Hilda,
expectations.
but-
I expected Hilda 100%.
Hilda herself is the only hero that I think is really interesting from a gameplay perspective, while the others, despite having good art, aren't that thrilling.
Yeah,
They'll just pull for Hilda on a later date.
that's
I'm
like what I'm
just
going to do
hoping
myself.
the next summer banner has a mix
Oh, no,
of
I-
games instead of focusing
Full
on a
disclosure,
single
I am
game or
absolutely going to
deviate from
skip.
being another.
Partially out of circumstance and partially out of lack of interest. Nothing
Yeah,
against Three Houses. It's just I do not usually need to pull these kinds of banners.
So yeah, there are two things about this set of banners. Like at the end of this, I thought there was really good art. I thought there were some interesting concepts. It's just, man, June has been rough. The double special heroes banner is amazing. Not being guaranteed is amazing, but that's already like a guaranteed 200 something orbs gone. And that's basically all the orbs you get from the month. So
Yep. Not to mention that Dagger is back this month as well.
oh, for people who don't have Dagger, yeah, she's kind of essential at this point.
Yeah, I don't
Now-
have her, and I really like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
with
can't
Note
go
now-
over her though.
I'll just say, with Note existing and Dagger, if you don't have Dagger, it's basically 5v7 in
Mhm.
Ether raids. So
5v7 is so
Yeah.
ugly because you guys can't, like, even if your units are really good, if you don't kill everybody and all of a sudden you found, because the reality is just like, for example, they deploy 2 refreshers and 5 attacking units, and you just deploy 4 attacking units, 1 refresher, you're not gonna kill enough people before they kill some of yours. If you just don't have enough heroes, it becomes ugly real fast.
yep. So, but with that especially in mind, there's just a lot going on at the moment.
Yeah.
So, pulling on this will be especially difficult, and not to mention that we are swiftly approaching our Choose Your Legends banner at the end of August,
Right.
which will have another Marianne. So, for people who are pulling for her here, you could just wait for her Choose Your Legends alt as well.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to say I was kind of surprised it was cool Hilda.
I mean, I kind of thought Marianne would be the lead somewhat, but
I thought
had
she was the
full
lead.
expectations. Yeah,
That's the thing, because she was so popular with Choose Your Legends. They could have easily switched this around and wouldn't have been a big deal. You know.
I mean, I
Why
guess
does-
character-wise it makes sense, but
Oh, in terms of
Yeah.
Sunshade staff, I guess, in terms of.
yeah.
Yeah, and I guess she would want to not be the focal point.
Not to mention Shove.
Oh, yeah, and
It's
then she
like
has to be the
Hilda
one
does, like,
pushing.
7 people.
Okay, I guess so.
It's just I didn't expect Hilda to get an alt so soon after her winter alt, that's all.
Oh, I had full expectations. If Marianne's gonna be there, Hilda would probably at least once be a duo with her. Somewhere. That was
Guess that makes
inevitable.
sense, yeah.
I did think Summer Hilda was going to be a big thing. Like, in terms of, I think they caught everybody in terms of, like, well, almost. I think the only hot characters remaining that they could have gone for were Shamir, Catherine, or Petra in terms of.
Or Manuela.
They also kind of forgot the
I
Lords
guess.
again.
Who?
The Lords.
Oh, yeah. I'll be honest, I think they know very well what sells during summer.
You would always be able to sell a Needle Guard alt. Kidding me?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, but I think, I mean, well, true, but as I said, I think that's next year or something. I think they want to space
Yeah.
that out a bit more.
Yeah.
Because Edelgard,
Imagine.
you know, any big Edelgard fan should have no orbs because she was on 2 banners just a couple weeks ago.
3 banners, technically.
Oh, well, that's even worse, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Nice to see them at least space things out a little bit in terms of character choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. All right. With that said, yeah, this is an interesting banner. It's coming at a. Wait, just to double check again, was
Yes.
literally the last banner we had, summer banner, just 3 houses.
Yeah. If you
Summer
don't
banner
count
was second.
pirates, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
If I don't
pirates,
count what?
If
The
you don't
pirate
count the
banner.
pirates,
Pirate
the
banner.
summer banner.
which you could go either way with that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if we're going strictly these kinds of banners, then yes, it would be 3 houses with Lorenz and company.
Damn. Because that's never happened before. Just back to backs of the same series a year apart. That's never been
I
a
mean,
thing.
to be fair, summer banners aren't usually, well, I guess the first set were, but they tend to be more mixed. But 3 houses likes to have exclusive rights.
Yeah, 3. That's a first, and I get it. Okay, I'm really interested to see how you guys are gonna go for this banner. But yeah, personally, it's a bad month, and there are characters I'm interested in, like Dual Hilda. I think could actually like revolutionize the team just with shove, and just makes
Hilda
it
is huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be meta permanent.
right. But I can wait 6 months. I don't have an issue waiting that long.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody who doesn't want to do it right now, this banner lasts until August 5th. So, you have time.
I can't. It's the summer banners always last a long time, but that's a month. That's 5 weeks. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, granted, this is also going to be almost like 3 weeks overlap with the next summer banner, which is at the start of next month.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do want to summon this banner later, like I might go later for Caspar, there's time. Plenty of time.
I do want to say the hero I'm most interested in is Leonie, because that's up to date Cav Archer for free. The last one we had was a Halloween. I don't even remember his name anymore.
Roll.
They're all the same. Okay, they're all the same
Yeah.
to me.
The last Archer Cav in general was Wrath. There hasn't been an Archer Cavalier at all since then.
But that's why this is so impressive, because that's likely going to be a current gen BST hero with really good stat spreads. How is she
Yep.
like in 3 houses? Because I don't remember her
She's-
being slow.
Fast generalist.
No,
with
she's
bad
very
red.
fast. Pretty good strength, good speed, good defense.
And
Right.
terrible res.
Terrible res.
Yeah,
That's
bad res.
I think that's good because she'll. If she has like a burned out stat spread and she's free, I'm gonna be really happy.
And her
The
bow is
problem
most
is-
likely going to be speed. So that's like 10 speed on the bow, plus whatever the foe's buff is.
hmm
She's going to be fast for a
she's-
Cavalier. Like,
If she's
so
really fast, she's gonna be a good user of Fire Sweep Bow, or
Yep.
you could go Spendthrift. But there are a lot of interesting things you can do. That's why I'm actually happy about this banner, even though if I don't end up pulling, because Leonie is actually like a really good hero to inject into meta.
Yep. Leonie is basically going to become the quintessential Cavalier for Ether Raid's defense as far as free-to-play goes.
Yeah,
Most likely.
Leonie has 3 more HP than Bernadetta, so the arrangement of stats might be a little different, but it should be fairly similar, I think.
hmm
Well, considering Bernie has not so great def or res, 38 speed, 32 attack, we could expect to see like good defense, less res than Bernie has defense, and then attack not much better, but at least a little bit.
I like that, honestly. But yeah,
Expect,
chat
like
for
34 attack or something.
For me personally, the unit I'm actually looking forward to the most is Leonie, because that's gonna be a Grail project for sure.
Yeah. Not to say I will make a Grail project out of her personally because I have too many Grail projects, but for a lot of people, and maybe for yourself included, Leonie is probably going to become one of the best Grail projects to look forward to. Not to mention, Seedle Cavalry is a thing, so if you happen to have an extra Sol, then you could theoretically use Leonie in Arena as well
hmm
as a bonus.
Yeah, and it's been very hard to use Sea-Dual Cavalry until now for people who are free to play because
Oh yeah.
I mean you've got Rolf
We
and
didn't
you've
have
got
options.
Luis, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, 2 Cavs,
Yeah.
Rolf and Louise, and then a bunch of healers that don't score right. So with Leonie, who's only going to be like 161s, 162 BST, actually has a pretty decent spread, then C-Dual Cav in particular is actually going to be really popular, or really solid idea, rather, on her.
Wait, she's gonna be 162.
Roughly.
Okay.
Roughly.
Because if I
Because
remember,
Bernie was 157.
okay, so one bump higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, like Severa, which wasn't that long ago in Easter, was like 156, 157. Like
Yeah,
that.
archers have a slight
Slight
bump,
bump, right,
because of, yeah. So we can expect to see some good stats out of her.
But-
Obviously, not going to be like top
Yeah.
tier, like 38, 40 offensive spread, but still
That
really
that
good,
would be nice,
considering.
but yeah, I highly doubt it.
Look, if it
Yeah.
beats Halloween Rolf Gordon, well, whatever, I'm happy.
Yeah. No,
As long as
I
it's
have
better.
high expectations, I'll put it that way. And
Okay.
at the very least, her bow is probably going to be a very popular inherit possibility, because if it does speed manipulation, it's the best way to give speed to any archer, free to play or otherwise.
Mhm.
So, at the very
Which-
least, there's inherent value in that.
At the
That would just
very
give you
least,
basically free
this
10
year-
speed, but,
we get a hero that's not Summer Lorenz. Thank you,
Yeah.
IS. You're not
get
hurting us
Anas
intentionally.
2.0.
We get something actually useful for something other than Ponzo Loki. Imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right. Okay, let's start going over the heroes.
All right.
Okay, first character is Ashe. I actually didn't see Ashe in the silhouettes. A lot of people called it right.
Yeah, I
Okay, a
did.
lot is not an accurate phrasing because a lot of people were like, for me, I saw a girl, and I saw possibly even Soleil, though I didn't, or possibly even Nyx. But then I retracted that pretty quickly because once you took a better look, you're like, probably not. But I didn't think it was Ashe. Absolutely not. So this actually surprised me. Japan once again called it right, despite the fact that they had like nobody guessing, but they called it right on Ashe.
Yeah. Once I originally thought I was originally on the happy train for a little bit, but then once I saw people calling out Ashe, I took a closer look, realized that hair probably wasn't as long as I thought, and
Yeah.
retracted and went Ashe train.
That's what I was
Mhm.
thinking. That was my logic yesterday, is that there was sort of a cape or a hood that was probably making people think it was hair when it was
Yeah.
really kind of that short Ashe haircut. Yeah.
Yeah. So it took me a little bit to get it, but
Yep.
so
This time we have I'm actually really happy about trace skills because they get to show off stats already and we don't have to do as much
Yeah.
the next day.
no kidding. I love it when they have these out of combat effects because they can just tease the stats early every time.
hmm
And with this banner in particular, we already know everybody except for Caspar, the one I think I needed to know most.
Yeah, Caspar has
Yeah.
work cut out for him though, because just
I
he's
know.
I think he's up against New Year Keaton, and that's a monster, literal monster.
Yeah.
He looks like he'll have low speed because he's getting doubled by the Pegasus Knight that
Right.
he's facing.
That's what I expect
Oh.
too.
Yeah, we will get to that, of course. But
Okay,
as far as Ashe is concerned, for his reduced stats, he has 40 HP, 37 attack, 41 speed, 32 defense, and 18 res.
mm-hmm. So
So, not bad.
he's not bad. To put things in perspective, I think he's straight up one-on-one, like one of the best blue lancers in the entire game. The problem is his competitors all have a special niche, and he technically does have a special niche, but his niche is not as important as the other ones. But we'll get to it. Divine Sea Spear is really good actually. Attack +3 if unit initiates combat or foe's HP is over 75% at start of combat, grants attack speed defense +3 to unit during combat, inflicts attack speed defense -3 on foe during combat. Immediate swing practically guaranteed so long as he initiates or a foe set over 75% of 6 stats on attack speed and defense. That's huge. And also, if foe has attack speed defense bonuses, grants bonuses to attack speed defense, inflicts penalty on foe's attack speed defense during combat, equals current bonus on each of foe's attack speed defense, calculate each stat bonus independently. So in other words, it's like LOL, but
It's a binding necklace for everything but res.
okay.
Like the Dono said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not bad. It basically means that he gets a guaranteed 6 attack, 6 speed, and 6 defense, and then 3 res on initiation, which is actually a lot. Not to mention the fact that he gets the in combat panic, essentially. Or
Right.
buff stealing.
Right. So it's actually such a good spear. However, like it's just we'll get to it, but we'll talk about his competitors in a bit. But it's a really good spear. It's when you don't have to worry about the I mean, he doesn't really care about res, so it doesn't really matter. But attack speed defense can't buff and then not immediate swing towards that. So it makes him a very deadly hero up close. And we saw his damage output. It's actually quite high.
Yeah. And to say nothing of the fact that he's really fast. Like, he effectively has 47 base speed through his spear alone.
Yep.
So, he's not at all bad stat-wise.
Yep.
Emphasis, though, on stat-wise.
Stat-wise. But we'll get to that. Okay, he has Moonbow, Blue Dual Cav 4, which unfortunately, because if he's not going to live up to his promise, this guy is getting fodder to like the gazillion Reinhardts out there.
I sense a disturbance in the force.
It is as though many Ashe were silenced all at once.
Yeah, it feels bad because, guys, Divine Sea Spear is actually a really good lance, and his stat spread's not bad at all. It's just premium fodder. That is premium fodder in the eyes of a lot of players. If you ask a lot of players whether if they could use Reinhardt in Arena, would they do it? It wouldn't surprise you to see the majority say yes.
Yep.
Emphatically. All right, SD Near Trace 3 as well. Speed defense -3. Always cancel Rem +1. Because it's Near Trace, you get to move +1 afterwards, as well as Joint Hone Speed. So if you get the Near Trace, you can get Joint Hone Speed and Near Trace, which he's premium fodder even if it's not for Reinhardt. But for other blue calves, definitely premium fodder for the blue dual cav.
Yeah, absolutely. Beetle Cav, unfortunately, can't be pathed, so you can't get Trace at the same time if you want that.
Yeah.
But for anything that isn't Reinhardt, or other blue calves at the very least, Trace Joint Hone Speed is really solid for like scoring builds and whatnot. And for blue cavalry, Reinhardt especially, blue dual cav is going to be game changing. And for the denizens of Lance Cavaliers, including Patrine, as a slightly more overlooked note, Beetle cav could be really valuable.
Yeah. So the reason why... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say, I could even see some people running it on Death Knight, because he's not in Arena. He could technically work with his, because bonuses are so common. So
Right. So there's a variety, quite the variety of that, at that blue calves that can be chosen.
Mhm.
It's just that Reinhardt is feeding so much this year, and there's no stopping him with blue dual cav.
Right.
So that's going to be very common.
But, okay, let's go into his competitors, because even from 3 houses, he has a very strong competitor.
Unfortunately.
yes.
Yeah.
Who's also incredibly quick, who also does a ton of damage. But this one doesn't have to worry about counterattacks.
Yeah, Ingrid is gonna crush him completely in terms of meta relevance.
Yeah.
He'll make a better tank, and he might even be faster, but realistically, Ingrid is just gonna be the better unit.
Yeah.
Because from the base stat perspective, Ingrid has 3 less HP, 2 less attack, 1 less speed, 4 less defense, and then 9 more res. So stat-wise, it actually looks like he's better min-maxed. But for those who forget, Lewin is Ingrid's perf, and it grants speed +6 if unit initiates combat or is not adjacent to an ally. And then also, in that same condition, as long as she's initiating, she gets the fire sweep effect, and then also 20% true damage based on her speed stat.
Yep. So in effect, she should hit just about as hard and not worry about getting hit at all.
And if not harder, plus
Yeah.
guaranteed damage. And most importantly, no counterattacks.
The fire sweep effect is what really separates her. Even if she didn't have all those other effects, that alone would make her, stand out.
Yeah, and again, it's if she initiates combat. So, well, of course, it's if she has 5 more speed than her foe, which is tough. But if she can double, effectively, she just fire sweeps. And she is not slow.
Considering ARD is where both of these units are like best, I would say, the sleep effect comes in really handy in ARD, of course, because of all the, like, for example, save skills, as well as the fact that counterattacking is just the best thing to do for offense. So stopping that is just amazing.
Yep.
And then for those like Brave Hector, for example, he can't stop that 20% true damage. So even if she's hitting for minimal damage, she's gonna do something without punishment. Thanks to her fire sweep.
And you want to know the worst part about all this?
Yeah.
They're both blue lions.
Yep.
Why would you do that? It's so unfortunate.
Absolutely no favoritism.
I mean, that's what you get for not having a relic. But yeah, that in particular hurts to think about.
Yeah. It's like, congratulations, Ashe, you're in the game. Get in line. You're not the best cap, not even in your own house.
Nope.
It's pretty sad at the end of the day.
Like, good pickup, but the worst part is that he's even good fodder to Ingrid, because Beetle Cav could be abused by her. And
I
at
was
the
just
very
starting
least,
to think about that.
Trace Fire Sweep is a really good combo, so even if you don't give her dual, speed defense near Trace can be a very valuable skill.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for Ashe, but
yeah.
moving on, it's not just Ashe, it's from the free-to-play pool as well. Now, Patrine doesn't have, like, as clear of an advantage, but she is effective against beasts, which now is in premium because Fallen Guard all of a sudden became the most common beast hero. Congrats.
Yep.
And then, of course, from the respect of, she's targeting Res, which could allow her to hit harder than Ashe.
Yep,
So, it's
and at the
interesting.
very least, she gets attacks B +5 in effect because of her speed defense penalties. Or, no, she gets...
She inflicts
It's
speed
basically-
res -5.
Right,
so
yeah, speed
essentially
res -5,
attack speed
so-
+5 to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which... Yeah, even then, she kind of keeps up in damage output until the foe has buffs. So... Nah, he has a lot of competition, and very steep competition at that.
Right.
Not to say he's bad. Not
He's
at
good.
all.
He's really good. It's just...
Yeah.
It's strange that he didn't have anything to set him apart. Like, I get it. His lance is just a ton of stats, and your opponent can't buff themselves. But it felt like he needed a bit more than that.
I mean, I feel like, unfortunately, this is just not the kind of unit that would have gotten more than that.
Yeah. So I think he's more of a unit that's going to be foddered off. I think there are some dedicated fans who'll make +10 versions of him, but as a whole, if you're looking for a free-to-play Lancer that does a ton of damage, it's Patrine. And if you're looking for a premium one that does a lot of damage, it's Ingrid. So
And I can see people using Beetle Cav on units as well. There could be kind of nightmares in arena like Zeke and Dusel. So
Yeah.
To say nothing of the not fast, but still terrifyingly meta-present Cavaliers. And Zeke in particular can run DC while still having dual.
Oh, that's
So-
true. So
PM1 just released that video today, and it was like, what if Beetle Cavalry was a thing? And surprise, came out today.
Mm.
Yeah.
Almost like he was predicting. Yeah. So, to say the very least, the implications of that A slot are huge, but the unit is just dead. Sadly.
Yep. So it's unfortunate for Ashe, but we'll move on. The reality is, you go for him if you like him. You go for him if you need to fire him. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Or
I might
you go
actually
for
go
him
for him.
if you have no
I don't
options.
know.
If you go for him if you have no options too, but for Cavs. Otherwise, like for me, if I got him, I probably just want to kill him to Reinhardt. Even though I don't have a +10 one, I could.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean,
All right.
eh.
Marianne, though.
I'm sorry?
Marianne, though.
Pardon?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Not Marianne. Mercedes, though.
Yeah, that's right.
I was reading. I read the other. Whatever. Anyways, Mercedes. She's quite the looker. This might be... I don't know. This art has... It's not exactly like the hottest summer hero we've ever gotten, but this one feels really, really fitting. Like,
I think this art is a lot better than her base, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying, well, what I'm trying to say is, like, it fits her really well. Like, this art is actually really considered how she would look. I don't know. It's like one of the better put together summer outfits.
Absolutely. I'll give the artist and design credit. It is a really good alt from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
The problem is I'm not sure what this unit's for, so we'll get to it.
Kit and stats. Yeah.
Yeah. Fodder 2.
Peachy Parfait Plus at start combat if foe's HP is over to 75%, grants res +5 to unit, inflicts res -5 on foe during combat. And also if foe has res bonuses, grants bonus to units res, and inflicts penalty on foe's res during combat equals current penalty on foe's res. Calculate each stat bonus independently. I'm kind of confused by that, but I presume it means your buff and their debuff independently, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's the same thing as before. It's
Except just
basically
res.
binding necklace for res only,
Yeah.
which is not bad. So in effect, it basically means you get attack res +5 during combat, and then
Yeah,
if your foe has a buff, you're getting more attack res.
So it's not as... It may seem like it's only affecting res, but it does, in effect, give you attack as well.
Oh yeah, this is Kipu, right? Kipu did like
Oh yeah.
Summer Lind and whatnot.
Ah,
Right.
Huh.
that explains it. Because Summerlin was probably one of the better looking summer heroes up to that point as well.
Yeah, completely forgot about that. So nice to see them back once again to deliver high quality summer art.
Now that said, unfortunately, this is also looking like fodder for Ryan. I don't even want to say that, but like, what does Reinhardt want in terms of a trace skill? Far trace.
They are Far Trace 3.
Yeah,
Literally the best trace skill for him.
and then which skill would you take in his A slot? I get right, Death Blow 4 is nice, but Attack Res Push 4 would be pretty good too.
Attack Death Push is also good, but Attack Res Push is no sleeper skill either.
And the reality is, you can just kill off, crap. What is his name again? I mentioned him earlier.
Brady.
Brady. You can
Yeah.
just kill Brady for
Brady.
1, 2, and 3 of Attack Res
Poor
Push,
guy.
and then just get
Yeah.
Push 4 and Far Trace 3. So between her and Ashe, you got a perfect Reinhardt. You can have a perfect Reinhardt for like general play
Everything.
and scoring. Like, it's so ridiculous.
And to say nothing of the inevitability that Dire Thunder will get a refine. When it does, and if it's this year and especially, this will just be the year of Reinhardt.
This feels like a buff Reinhardt. Yeah, like Rio Reinhardt, because you got to just blend it. And what skill would you love to use in arena with Reinhardt? Far Trace. You can attack him back off. God.
Specifically this one.
Yeah. So dumb. Like, I'm sorry, like Chad, the reality is just like, I think Mercedes is cool. We'll go into your stats and break it down even further, but it's looking like really good fodder. And it's not
Yeah,
just
and-
Reinhardt who could use her really well. There are a lot of units who can use Attack Res Push and Far Trace really well. So
Yeah. Pretty much any mage, Cavalier, or mage flyer can use AR Far Trace to some level of value. And with Push
Especially
4
both
being
of
just
them.
one skill, thanks to Brady, you could even just take PG Parfait if you want to make a mage tank
true.
out of red
That's true,
mages.
yeah.
So.
But yeah, if you can't use Far Trace, then you take Push and PG Parfait. But I think if you can take Trace, absolutely prioritize that over PG Parfait.
Yep, 100%.
All right, so let's go over her stats. I think she's cuter and a better looker than she performs. It's gonna be another Gunthra situation in my eyes, and everyone already knows
Yeah.
Summer Gunthra virtually never got used.
I mean, Summer Gunthra came with Disarm, but that just meant she was fodder.
Yeah.
Again.
Which
Also,
is,
I think she was also done by Kipu, ironically.
what the. This man just makes all the best looking units, and then they get fodder. Okay. With
It's a constant cycle.
oh wait, you can break down stats.
Yeah, so she'll have 38 HP, 39 attack, 25 speed, 17 defense, and 38 res. So, among the highest attack stats and res stats of red mages, she's only behind Fallen Julia, Legendary Lena, and Valentine's Henriette in res. And as far as attack's concerned, she is behind Henriette, Plumeria, Brave Lysithea, Fallen Julia, Kyria, Regular Lysithea, and Legendary Lena.
Okay.
Playing with like Dual Leaf, which is not bad.
It's not bad, but here's the problem. Most of the units you mentioned have higher BST totals because they are BST totals. They have higher BSTs because they're not mounted. And having extra
Well-
movement is nice and all for trace purposes, I guess. And you have trace, but she's used defensively, so it's kind of awkward.
It's not the BST that's the problem, it's the perf or lack here thereof.
Oh yeah, she also doesn't have a perf. So when you mentioned Kyria, for example, Kyria's perf is actually quite good.
Yeah, Kyria's perf is quite solid, but then, like, again, I mean, Valentine's Henriette is a different beast altogether because she's in armor. But, like, Brave Lysithia's perf's really good. You got regular Lysithea being one of the best nukes. Legendary Lalina is just insane, despite having a similar spread to Mercedes. Like, it's just, there's
It's
no
crowded.
reason to use
And- yeah.
perfless. If you can go for a signature weapon, you likely should.
Yeah.
And that's just universal. So when the stats are only good and not amazing, and you don't have your own weapon, there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, this is looking like a situation where you use her defensively. Like you just drop Kiara
Yeah.
on her and that's probably it, which is awkward because it's not a really good skill for Trace, but yeah.
I mean,
Still-
ideally,
Yeah.
I could see her used in defense as an impact unit, impact flyer with a trace. In that case, she'd be able to go in, only get hit once while hitting for heavy amounts of damage, then pull back. I could see that working out pretty well, and her weapon does
Wait.
offer well to it.
Wait a second. Her weapon literally forces it to be Blue Lion?
Yep.
No way. Well, I'm sorry, Chad. I can't even recommend this weapon. I can't do
Ouch.
this. I can't even fire this off. Wow. This weapon is useless to me.
Ouch.
Yes, yes.
Oh man. That's surprising. It's Peachy Parfait, not Blue Lion Parfait.
I mean, I will say
It's a
this.
nice touch, I guess.
I will say this. Any Lysithea fans had better put this weapon on her immediately.
Yes, yes.
On both, at that.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. So yeah, this is an interesting unit in terms of her stat spread, but it's going to go back to like what we said about Ashe, if not a bit worse, because this is another hero that you either get her because you really like her, or you get her to fodder her.
I know PM1's gonna get her for sure, at the very least.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
this is S tier art. That's the best thing about her art.
yeah, pretty much. And her fodder.
Oh, and
Fodder.
fodder. Yeah.
Yeah, she has some amazing skills and good pathing. So we'll take what we can get, and at the very least, if you have her and you want to make the most out of her, just run like Blade Tome and like a Breaker skill if you need to. You could probably make that work.
Right.
But in general, I just realized she's a Cavalier, so she can't even run Impact. What am I saying?
Yeah, I was
thinking,
confused
like-
what you were talking about.
I was thinking like, did you mean like an impact tome? But I couldn't even think of it.
Yeah,
It was just, like-
there isn't one, and I keep thinking she's a flyer because I keep associating her with like Plumeria and whatnot. She's not. So that's just even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awkward. Okay.
At
Sorry.
least we get another red tome in the Hall of Forms pool, other than Unity Blooms for good red tomes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and even then though, this is not as good as Unity Blooms. Like,
For sure.
yes,
That's
you
still
get
the-
more damage on this than Unity Blooms technically, but you're not getting into defense bulk at all, or healing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to Tiny Boy, who's 5 foot. I actually looked him up. His official height's not released because
no,
it's not on his
it's
biography. I think, which is weird to me.
I need to look at the chart again. He's the smallest.
I think he's in a
before the time
chart,
skip,
but I don't think it's official
Um,
because it's.
the smallest guy. before
He's.
the time
I think
skip.
he's the smallest guy. That's for sure.
But
all
after
right.
the skip, he's definitely not the smallest.
5'2", I believe.
Mm-hmm.
By the
At
way,
least as of this point.
That
Yeah.
is one dumb looking fish. Do you guys see this fish?
Looks
It
happy
looks-
to be there though.
Oh,
It doesn't look dead, which is weird, but all right. Infantry
happy.
axe, yeah.
I was just gonna say, Caspar. He starts out, as 5'2", but after the skip, he's 5'8".
But he's still small after. Okay, sure.
Taller than me at that point.
All right. He has Victor Fish Plus. At start combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, grants defense plus 5 to unit, inflicts defense minus 5 on foe during combat. And also, if foe has defense bonus, grants the bonus to unit's defense. Inflicts penalty on foe's defense during combat equals current bonus on foe's defense. Should look familiar. It's the defense variant for Axers. He also has Smite, bonus doubler, and even attack wave. This is your 4-star demote.
I will admit, didn't expect bonus doubler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never been demoted, and it's not not great, so it might as well be.
I mean,
Right,
bonus doubler is actually good if it's available.
I
Like-
think it's only on certain heroes. I really like it.
Very niche.
Yeah,
I'd say.
like, it's...
Yeah, Master Luigi says, imagine Ninja Hannah holding 2 of those fish.
Please, please do it. I need to see that.
That would be amazing.
Um,
I would love to see that.
Yeah,
That's what I was excited about yesterday when we looked at the art. I was like, "Hey, we can inherit this fish to
Yep.
someone fun and we can
yes,
throw it around."
yes.
I already know
cannot
who
wait
I'm
to see
giving this one to.
We don't even need to
no,
guess.
no.
Wow.
Grandpa Fish.
Grandpa's
Yeah.
with fish. Wait, I thought Gunter liked fishing.
I have no
that's-
clue.
I think that's Gilbert.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I
Gunter
yeah, I
doesn't.
don't think.
No, nobody cares about Gunter. You're right.
Ouch.
All right. But
Every kid would be just like
yeah.
this.
Yeah, but as far as the A slot, I mean, bonus doubler I don't think is a really good skill if it's 5-star locked, because you have to deal with the fact that there's just better 5-star locked skills, like 300 SP ones.
Yep.
But if it's just freely floating around as a potential 4-star skill, it gives a lot of stats if you're just using units that can make good use out of buffs.
Mhm.
So I think it's actually pretty solid as far as a budget A slot can be.
Okay.
Granted, this is still not
that's
the
true.
most budget, but like for example, like you said, it works well in some units. If you were to use like Brave Ephraim, for example, I could see
Mhm.
this in lieu of close defense being a solid option just to throw on his A slot since he already wants buffs.
Right.
Or like
Legendary
Menace
Marth.
users, Legendary Marth. I'm gonna do that if I can. I'm
Yep.
going to
Yeah,
give him bonus
with
doubler.
legendary Hollywood.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Blade Tome heroes. You got options, but it's a relatively small group of heroes, but you can play around with it, especially if it's 4 stars.
yeah.
So
That
So, I mean,
helps.
it's a good skill for a demote, honestly. Like, I will appreciate bonus doubler if I can get my hands on it.
okay. But in terms of the unit, what are your stat projections if you know
I don't have any because there's literally nothing to do.
any?
But
Okay.
like, we know he's gonna have like 46 HP,
Mhm.
and he's gonna have really high attack and defense, no speed,
And
if
likely
he
no
tries
res.
to be Keaton, yeah, if he tries to be
It's-
Keaton, no res.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be something like Keaton. Although I guess the stats I think we'd be most interested in would be speed and res. Because I guess he could technically be somewhat min-maxed in his speed. Like if he dumps speed for res, but I somehow think that's kind of unlikely. Like he might have like 25 speed and like 20 res or something like that.
But that
Yeah,
would be similar to Keaton.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah,
to
if
Keaton,
depending on how similar he is to Keaton, he's screwed. Like,
yeah.
he has 2 less HP than Keaton. We already know this much. So, if he doesn't have Keaton's gargantuan 43 defense and tries to throw whatever he can into his res to have like 26 res or something,
Yeah.
he could actually make a solid mixed tank at the very
Oh,
least.
well, I guess that's. true, yeah,
Well,
but
he's in
melee-wise
Killick
and
territory, and he has to fight Killick instead.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but Kellic has huge res, relatively huge res for his class and relatively mediocre defense. So if Caspar did the opposite,
Okay, he might be
if
in the
you-
middle point, but that's a problem because it's still a problem because those are Grail heroes that you're guaranteed with.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
only
and
thing.
Kellic
So-
is pretty cheap Grail-wise. to
This is-
build, so.
This is the problem here because he has really steep competition. The
Yep.
past 2 heroes had competition. Caspar has even more competition. Green Grail heroes, the most
Green
crowded
Axe
place
infantry.
is
Green Axe anything.
Yeah, green anything at this point. No, green physical especially, but green physical
Yeah.
especially that it's so crowded.
Like, what now? We have even like, if we go beyond even just infantry, we just got Zealot. We have Keaton. We have Kellic. Ninja
Luigi
Hana's
and
in a
Chris.
different league of her own. We have Chris. We have Sala.
Yeah, this
Go
is
back a little further. We have Flame Emperor.
Yeah.
Like,
This
it's
is rough.
just Really, Groom Hinata, Pirate Daros, Mustafa. Like,
there are a lot of viable
it's-
heroes in that pool,
yeah,
but the cream
and
of the
they're
crop,
all
yeah,
vying for attention.
the
yeah.
cream of the crop for speed would be Ninja Hana. In terms of defense, is go either Killick with more res but less defense versus NY Keaton, which is all about defense. And the problem against NY Keaton is that he has a perf. So while it's really cute, he has this like +5 defense, -5 defense on his opponent thing. Keaton already does that in his weapon.
Yeah. Keaton basically just trades the bonus stealing for true damage,
Yeah.
while also still having Wudao on top of that because of the transformation.
Yeah,
So-
and then it's a perf, so it has even more attack. So
Yep.
yeah,
Like-
it's awkward for Caspar, man.
Yeah, and Keaton just got his Grail rerun thanks to Compile too.
Yeah.
So he's even cheaper now. So
This is why this banner is so rough, because the first 3 heroes we just listed like 5-star alternatives and free-to-play alternatives that match up just as well, and a lot of these heroes just end up being fodder as a result. You get them if you love them, but in terms of like meta purposes, if you really care about getting like the most worth for your orbs or the most worth in general, there are just so many better alternatives.
yeah,
Kinda rough.
I mean, I'm glad actually this time that Caspar is the summonable, because if he was the TT unit, he would be in an arguably
Oh,
worse position. For
yes.
the effect of
They could have done that
where you're gonna put your
actually.
Grails.
They could have put Leonie in here and she would have been, I think people would have pulled for her, absolutely.
Yeah,
But it would
But
have
on the
made
other
things even
hand-
worse. Yeah.
people would have to pull for her, and she would only be available for the banner run.
Yeah.
Which is hard,
No.
considering how good she's
No,
gonna be.
Ice was considered here because they could have done that, but they didn't.
Yeah. So, in that regard alone, I'm actually glad Caspar is here because, yeah, it sucks, but considering where he is standing as an axe infantry, no matter what, there's no chance. Like, almost all of our axe infantry bases are covered at this point. It's really hard for anybody to compete.
Yeah.
So, better he's in a place where people can choose to avoid him unless they really like Caspar, which I know people do. There are some big Caspar fans out there. But if there's the option to avoid him, I think that's actually a good thing. So,
All right. By the way, his goggles are Fey goggles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Ow.
notice that.
I didn't even notice that.
All right.
That's-
Thank you, Garrett, for the follow. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, leave a like, subscribe, follow, all those nice things if you want to support the stream. Let's try to get 100 likes.